Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Foam Rolling Essentials. My name is Adriana with Neorafit, and today I'll be guiding you through 4 different foam rolling moves. For today's practice, you do need a foam roller. Any size foam roller will work. I love the bigger ones because they're so versatile, but for today, a big foam roller, a small one, the tiniest one you have, doesn't matter. Any of those that you have will work. So whenever you're ready, put on some music, grab some water. It's so important to drink water, especially after you're foam rolling, but before is good too. And we'll get started right away. We'll start out today's practice by foam rolling your back. So go ahead and place your foam roller down and then start to lie back. I like to start with the foam roller pretty low because it's easier to go higher, but you do want to avoid the lowest part of your low back because that's when you get into kidneys and that can be very uncomfortable. So we'll start out with arms out to the sides, pretty wide, and give your head plenty of support. And then we'll just begin to roll from basically the bottom of your ribs all the way up to the top of your shoulders. And take deep breaths as you move. I use my feet to roll, and you may find that you have to readjust a few times if you tend to travel as you roll, which is normal. Now, as your back starts to get warmed up, you can start to find almost like a mini crunch where you lift your head a bit as you get to the top and then lower your head as you get to the bottom. That can add a little bit of intensity and can feel really good. And then we'll switch to your next arm position, which is going to be elbows straight up towards the ceiling. That's going to help to wing your shoulder blades out to the sides and give you access to slightly different muscles. And same thing, you're still rolling from shoulders to the bottom of your rib cage. And we'll do just a couple more here. Perfect. Very last arm position is going to be arms across your chest, reaching as far as you can so that your shoulder blades are going as far apart as possible. And then same thing, find that rolling action along your back. I love foam rolling because it opens up all kinds of I love foam rolling because it helps to massage out the fascia and get fresh blood flow and energy into spaces that don't always get accessed. It can also be really good for before a workout or for workout recovery. All right, after that last roll, go ahead and come up to a seat. And now we're going to switch to your quads. Now for quads, if your knees are sensitive, you may want a blanket or a towel to put underneath the knee that's not working. You'll set up with the foam roller on the front of your right thigh. Your left knee is going to go out to the side into a half frog shape. So the inner part of the knee and ankle is on the ground. And then I like to be on forearms, but you can be on forearms or hands for this. Now you're going to begin to roll down your entire right thigh. You can use your left foot to help you with that rolling action and also use your forearms to help, maybe walking forward a bit and walking down a bit. I like to go all the way up to the hip flexor or the front of the hip, but totally up to you how far you go. Now I want you to find a spot that feels pretty sensitive. You're going to hold here and bend and extend your right knee, trying to bring your heel towards your glute just as far as is comfortable and back. This can be pretty intense, so breathe deeply. Let's do one more here. And then keep your knee bent and internally and externally rotate your thigh. So you're bringing your heel over to the right and then heel over to the left, keeping your knee bent. Let's do that just 2 more times. And last one. Awesome. Go ahead and re-extend your leg and then we'll switch sides. So switch to the foam roller underneath your left leg and right knee out to the side in that frog shape. Go ahead and lower down onto your forearms, and then we'll start to roll along the whole front of your left thigh. Going all the way down to the top of the knee, not quite at the knee cap, but just above, and then all the way up to the hip. Usually one side is more intense than the other, and for me, it is this one today. Couple more breaths here. And then go ahead and find that spot that feels like it needs a little extra attention today, and then bend and extend your left knee. Heel towards the glute and reach out. 3 more. Strong breaths. And on this last one, keep your knee bent and start to rotate out to the left and into the right, internally and externally rotating. This can be pretty intense, especially if you've been working out a good amount. Let's do one more here. Awesome. All right, walk yourself up. Now we're going to get into your IT band. But for the IT band, you're going to be rolling along the side of your thigh. So basically from the hip down towards the knee. You can use your opposite foot either behind you as support or in front of you. Whatever feels more natural is perfect. And then you can walk with your hands. Now we're just going to do a few rolls. This might feel good or intense, but either way, we don't want to overdo it. Let's go ahead and do 2 more. And last one. Awesome. Now come back towards your hip and start to roll your entire thigh towards the ground just a little bit. So now the pressure should be not directly on your IT band or the outside of your thigh, but just slightly in towards the midline. This is called the 45 line, and it's basically the place where your IT band and your quads meet. So it is kind of towards the front, but not all the way on the front, if that makes sense. All right, now roll just a little bit, and then you should pretty quickly find a place that feels intense. There's 3 trigger points along the IT band at that 45 line. So we're gonna find that first trigger point. It's gonna be intense, and you'll know when you hit it because of that intensity. So once you're there, just a few deep breaths, and focus on relaxing into it, like allowing your weight to let go, letting your inner thigh muscles relax, mine have not, and your glute muscles relax. All right, now we're not going to stay here forever, but let's start to roll down towards that next trigger point, and I've already found mine. You'll know, like I said, when you hit it, it's strange, but you'll know. And sometimes these trigger points want to travel, so if you feel the sensation or the intensity moving either higher up your thigh or lower down your thigh, go ahead and move with it, and breathe deeply. All right, you can stay here for much longer, but let's go ahead and roll down to that last point, which is closest to the knee. And again, once you find it, you'll find that intensity and breathe. Again, if it travels a little bit, go ahead and move with it. Whew, mine is moving. All right, just one more breath here. And let that go. All right, let's switch to your opposite IT band to kind of warm up, and then we'll get into the 45 line. So extend your opposite leg out and place the foot that is not being worked either in front or behind, up to you. And go ahead and start to roll along the IT band, just along the outside of your thigh. Good. And again, just 1 or 2 more rolls here, not trying to overdo it. And then roll back up to the hip and start to rotate your thigh out. And then roll just a little bit, kind of staying close to the hip until you find that first trigger point. You'll know when you find it. And take a deep breath. Exhale and try to relax your body into it. So doing your best to relax your glutes and your inner thighs. It might take time for that relaxation to happen. And if it doesn't happen during the course of this video, no worries. But when you do this on your own, try to get it to relax. All right, let's roll on to the next spot. Found mine. So once again, just looking for that spot along the 45 line. And again, you'll know when you feel it. It's quite intense. And ideally, you're waiting for that let go to happen, for your glutes and your inner thighs to relax. Deep breaths. I even like a strong exhale through the mouth. That can help to move energy. All right, and not holding for too long. Let's go on to that very last spot, the one that's closest to the knee. When you find that spot, it will feel intense, but breathe into it and know that you can always take breaks or come back to this later if you need to. Try to find that moment of not exactly relaxation, but of a let go happening. All right. and go ahead and let that go. So drink lots of water today. Foam rolling does work on the fascia, which needs to be rehydrated. If you can avoid caffeine and alcohol for at least a couple of hours and really just flush your system with water, the fascia can hold on to all kinds of energy and toxins and things. So as you start foam rolling or even just stretching really deeply, you'll want to drink as much water as possible to help all those toxins and things get flushed out of your system. It's like whenever you get a massage and you might have a headache later if you didn't drink enough water, same concept. So if you do have a headache later, please drink so much water. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name again is Adriana Lee with Neorafit, and namaste.